Don't panic. This is the most important thing that you can do right now. Whether you don't want to take medication, or you're struggling to get a diagnosis, or you're being affected by a global shortage like I am right now, this video is for you. Very important disclaimer, this is not medical advice. Please go and see your GP for any official medical advice. These are just tips, and they're all things that I use myself. I found them in various articles and blogs while researching my own ADHD. I will link what I can down below so that you can do your own research as well. But please, 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 consult a doctor or whoever diagnosed you. My name is fifirabs, and on this channel every single week we talk about ADHD, how to build our self-confidence and take back control of our lives. I want you to be working with your ADHD instead of against it. Let it fuel you. That's what our community is all about here. If any of that sounds absolutely excellent to you, then make sure that you drop a like and go and check out my Instagram. It's where I post all of my adventures, all of my confidence tips. Without further ado, let's get on with the video and my 5 tips to get you through this time of being unmedicated, whether it's your choice or not. The first tip is to establish a routine, but I don't want this video to be like every other ADHD advice video you've seen. We're going to be talking about something unique here, and this is something that I picked up from Beverly's podcast, where she was talking with somebody about routines and about healing yourself through stress management. And what he said was having a 5-minute morning routine. So having 3 steps in it, the 3 M's. First step, something I do every day for mindset, is to have a motivational playlist. You can make this yourself. It's something fun, and it'd take you a couple of seconds to just find like 5 to 10 songs that make you actually want to get up and move. I actually have my own Spotify playlist. I've made it public, and I'll link that down below as well if you want some inspiration. But I recommend making your own. Make it something that makes you want to get up. My second recommendation is for your mood, so that'll be your breakfast. I just think that it's really important to focus on your nutrition in the morning and finding things that you enjoy eating. So if I don't have time to eat before work, I will literally just find a little pot and I'll stick some oats, some chocolate chips, and a spoonful of peanut butter for protein, take it to work with me, hot water, microwave, you've got yourself some porridge. Perfectly easy to do in the morning, especially if you're running late. And finally, movement as a part of your morning routine. So in the podcast, they suggest having like 3 of your favorite yoga moves and just doing those. And that can be something that you can do, or you can run on the spot. You could do press-ups while you're waiting for your porridge to cook in the microwave. Maybe not at work, but if you're doing it at home or if you're waiting for something to cook in the morning, totally doable. The whole point of this morning routine is that it is easy to remember, because I have had years of being stuck with these long, arduous morning routines full of skincare and trying your best to remember every single step in this influencer's morning routine, and it's just not doable for most people. I just put out a vlog post that basically showed that things get messy for me too. Things get messy for everybody, and I had the sweetest comment under it that said that someone found it really comforting. And I'm gonna be so real with you, sharing that and having someone respond so positively to it, it warms my heart, and I actually think about it every single day. Tip number 2 is about minimizing distractions. And my best thing that you can do is that if you're having a really hard day, put aside like 5 minutes and just clear up your most used areas. It doesn't need to be several steps. It can literally just be that the chair at your desk always accumulates clothes. So put aside 5 minutes and just put those away. It's going to make sitting down at your desk to get work done a lot easier, and it's going to give you confidence and motivation to get on with your day and make you feel like you've accomplished something, even if it's nothing crazy. You do not need to do a whole scrub down of your house in order to have accomplished something, especially during a time where you are lacking the medication you need to function on most days. And I really like to come on here and give very unique advice, because I find that the same advice is given again and again and again, and most of it, even if it is given by an ADHD person, tends to not really fit my specific brand of ADHD, like very inattentive with very occasional hyperactive spells that make things difficult. If you have any of your own advice on how to minimize distractions, things that work for you personally that you have never heard anyone else talk about, please leave it in the comments. I am begging you, because I want to know more. And sometimes what works for me isn't going to work for you, and what works for you might work for someone else completely random, and you might help someone else so much. And I'm not talking about the Pomodoro method or the 3-minute rule. We all know about those things. I want something unique, and I bet you know something. Tip number 3 is to stay active, and that sounds very, very generic, and my generic advice would be join a sports team, ask someone if you can come along to their sports class, or visit a gym with them. And that's great, like perfectly good advice to have an accountability an accountability partner, but accountability buddy works too, I guess. My boyfriend called me his accountability buddy one day when we first started dating, and I guess it just kind of stuck, but I didn't mean for it to slip out. Use it if you like. My less generic advice is to be the person who volunteers. This is something very, very small that you do regularly. So if someone has forgotten something upstairs, and it's just one flight of stairs or it's 3 flights of stairs, just be the person who volunteers to go and get it. Just be the person who volunteers to take out the rubbish or to do the washing up. Just be the person who volunteers to do something active that other people don't want to do, because it is something that you can do on a daily basis. Yeah, it helps out other people. Maybe if you're a bit of a recovering people pleaser, it helps with that too. But getting that extra activity, that extra dopamine is going to help you throughout your day, and it is getting your heart rate going for small things for short periods of time. That advice actually changed my life and the way that I look at fitness and my own health. I really, really recommend staying active by doing little and often. Tip number 4 is about your diet. First of all, we're going to be talking about the supplements that you take and the supplements that I take. So I take brain fuel, choline, turmeric, and generic vitamin D. The first 3 I all take are from Dr. Vegan, and it's not sponsored, but I really, really recommend them because it's all vegan and I'm vegetarian. I really don't want to risk there being gelatin in anything that I consume on a daily basis. But I also recommend them because they have a discounted subscription service. And while they might be a little bit pricier, not in everyone's price range, and that's fine, having a subscription service for your vitamins is so helpful for the ADHD brain because I will forget to order them, I'll be running low, and then they'll appear at my house, which is just so convenient for me. It's something that I need on a monthly basis to function. Vitamin D and omega-3, of course, are things that I've spoken about on this channel before, and they have been shown in studies to have really, really good effects on ADHD symptoms. These 2 vitamins alone, if you take anything, take these 2 because they help with hyperactivity, impulsivity, and concentration, which are all things I'm lacking right now because it's very late at night. Sleep is also important, but it's not in this list. But when it comes to vitamins, again, do your own research, talk to your own GP if you feel like it's necessary, but those are things that I recommend. And secondly, within this topic of diet, I want to talk about the recipe that I've had for breakfast like at least twice a week since I was 14, because I saw a Korean food blogger do it and I thought that looks easy and tasty, so I just do it. And I've found that it's actually really helpful because a spike in sugar at the beginning of your day can lead to hyperactivity at the beginning of your day and burnout later on in your day. It exacerbates ADHD symptoms and makes it harder to be healthy and productive. So at the start of the week, buy yourself a 6-pack of eggs and cook yourself a big batch of rice because that is going to last you like 4 or 5 days. Take a pan, stick some butter in it, fry an egg in it, and while the egg is frying, take some of that leftover rice and stick it in a bowl. Put it in the microwave, and when that's done, put the egg on top of it. It doesn't matter if it's still a little bit runny on top, because you're going to take the leftover butter and pour that on top, and it's going to cook beautifully. Stick on top some soy sauce, and I really like a bit of sriracha. I know, it's strange, people look at me funny, but sriracha's really good on it. A little bit of sesame oil if you're not allergic to nuts, and whatever seasonings you like. The whole thing takes me about 5 minutes, and the 6-pack of eggs and the rice, so easy to prepare. It's a great thing to have. If you want some fruits and veg, then I'd recommend maybe chopping up an apple before you go. I'm allergic to apples, so I don't know why I'm recommending that, but fun trivia about me. Now you know. But the reason why this breakfast is so good is because, yeah, it takes no time, basically no preparation, very little washing up, and there's a very slow release of energy from the complex carbohydrate that is rice, and the protein in the egg is really, really good for your neurotransmitters and getting you through the day. Protein is so important for the ADHD brain, I cannot overstate that. You can thank me later for the tip about pouring the butter on top of the egg because it cooks it perfectly. Tip number 5, my last tip, is to seek support. And by literally just clicking on this video, you are reaching out for support by looking for resources on how to help yourself while you're unmedicated. And these resources and the community that you're going to find when you reach any space full of ADHD people will be your rock during this time. An ADHD coach is also a great resource if you can access one. If you're one of my viewers from the UK, I'll leave links down below to Access to Work. But with Access to Work, if you are in a full-time position, then you're able to get access to a lot of resources that are going to help you out so much. If you're in school and you're diagnosed or undiagnosed with ADHD, then reach out to your school Senko officer and try to see what allowances they can get you for lesson time and what they can do to help you out. Trust me, there will be things that they can do for you. No matter where in the world you're from, I am certain that there is a community or there are resources out there to help you when you need it. But being from the UK, this is just what I know about. Now, if you're new here, I like to recap everything at the end of the video because I know that you've already forgotten what I said in tip 1. I'm also going to have them listed in the description. But now, we're going to go over it together. First of all, your routine. Buy yourself an alarm clock and remember the 3 M's. Minimizing distractions, cleaning your most used spaces, and please comment something down below that would help me out with this tip because honestly I struggle with it quite a lot too. Staying active, always be the one to volunteer to run upstairs and grab something, just do the little tasks. Eating right, make sure that you are taking your vitamins and you are not spiking your blood sugar for breakfast every single morning. It's gonna ruin your day. Finally, getting support. Make sure that if you're one of my UK viewers, you're following the links in the description and trying to reach out for support in the correct ways. And subscribe. Make sure that you are part of the community and that you have somewhere to come back to every single week. I really hope that this video gave you a feeling of comfort in this time, and please drop a like if it did. I want to know if this actually resonated with anyone. As always, I'm glad that you're here because I appreciate you and your brain. I will see you wherever I end up next.
I've been all in my phone, I got options, and I don't wanna tell you to drop it, but I don't wanna play your